Again, do you want to start again?
5.
Yeah, because you know
4,
you gotta just keep it in countdowns.
You had to literally restart it like 4 times.
And welcome to the Extreme Airsoft Podcast.
James likes his way too old memes that have been around for like a couple of years.
Come on, dog.
He's just late to the party with everything.
I guess so.
But,
I mean,
on that note,
Spice Must
on that
well.
bombshell, welcome to episode 50 of On Target Talks. Halfway to 100. 2 episodes away from some fun.
Oh, jeez.
Good thing we're not doing that today because I'd just straight die. If I don't talk a lot in the stream, it's because I'm like dying right now. So
Yeah,
Literally, like, there's
stuff.
an ambulance on the way, so.
Actually, technically, we're all dying.
Oh, wow!
that's too deep for a stream, man.
You mean the second you're born, you start dying?
I swear the stream starts and you're like, I'm just gonna shimmy out of.
Oh, did I actually?
You're pretty good at that. You always find a way to adjust.
He's like, oh yep, I'm in frame. Oh, the stream has started. Let me move over here. Oops. So in other news, I forgot my power cord today, and so I'm using James's, which isn't powerful enough to charge my laptop. So I'm slowly draining battery as we're streaming. Good day.
He's lit.
But what was I gonna say? Today's topic. Something that we've heard going back and forth a million times, both in the store and just in our general airsoft experiences, is do you think airsoft's classified as a sport or just a hobby? I've heard your side, and when we run out of content on that, we have some other stuff to follow up too. But of course,
We always have content.
Of course, we're going to start with our announcements. So, Dan, do you want to take it away?
Alright, so.
Actually, before we do that, let me just say I apologize for the noise in the background. We had gaming today, of course, because it is a holiday, and therefore they have to clean the field for Nerf night on a Wednesday. So there'll be a few leaf blowers and vacuums in the background, but hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. But we got this.
Alright, so. Say that again.
Alright, while you do that, Needle.
I'm never going to escape it. Alright.
Say it. Do it.
You're all killing it.
This Friday, upcoming Pistol Shotgun Night. Super cool thing is you guys voted, and a majority of people did say they want gas blowback rifles.
56 to 40.
56 to 44. That's how math works. But 56 to 44. So it was kind of close, but the majority of the ayes still had it over the nays. So we're going to try it out. We're going to see how it goes. If we find it's an overall success, then we'll keep it. If we find that it was way too much of a hindrance or a problem, we'll take it away. But Pistol Shotgun Night, as per the usual, pistols and shotguns are now gas blowback rifles and SMGs only. So no Titmans. Titmans don't count.
It's basically turning into gas blowback night plus pump shotguns.
Actually, that's true.
That's basically what it is.
That's kind of true. So your gas blowback rifles, gas blowback sniper if you want, I guess. Snipers don't count. No.
Yeah, someone shows up with like a freaking AWM like gas powered thing. They're like, no, I want to use this.
So that's coming up this Friday, 5 to 9, $15 standard admission. We don't offer rentals. We only do it for like masks and stuff. If you don't have a pistol or shotgun, we have a lot of options in the store that are pretty inexpensive.
Actually, on Friday we're getting a bunch of new restock on shotguns.
We're getting more shotguns.
The Tri-Rod Burst ones. The CQB ones. Yeah.
Oh, the CQB ones?
Yeah,
That's nice.
The good stuff.
So, we'll have shotguns, and we have plenty of pistols. Everything like sub $100, like for anything, even the shotguns are like sub $80, $70. So, pistol shotguns, we'll have that. So be there. It's going to be fun. Closing the app, just faster level of play. More at stake, less ammo. Saturday night is going to be adult night, so 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Standard airsoft gaming, still $25 to play, $45 to rent.
Big boys come out.
And then 6 o'clock to midnight, $20, 18 plus, 400 FPS, no safety kills, real pyro, blah 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 blah. Lots of stuff. Lots
it's big boy rules. Like you can go pro, and you can do all those other cool things that we don't let you do.
Yeah.
On a normal day of play. So it's going to be a very good time. Also, another big thing that we are going to announce is the Expo. The annual Expo put on by Diaz and friends. That is going to be the 4th of April.
Shout out to Fry for.
Yes, and so normally Gordon, puts this whole thing together, and he'll still be a part of this. But what you're going to see now is your boy Fry. He's been on this podcast a few times. That's Sunday, right? Or is it the 8th? Did I mess that up?
You said it was on a Wednesday, dog.
Oh, well, I lied. Don't show up on the 4th.
I knew that was wrong.
It is April 8th, a Sunday. It is going to be the NIAD, or they're calling it the 2018 Airsoft Expo, not the NIAD Expo this year for some reason.
I think that makes it a little more clear, kind of like.
It's just an Airsoft Expo.
Right.
It's more inclusive.
Make it like the East Coast Airsoft Expo, exactly. More open to everybody. Rather than calling it like, oh, this is the West Coast SHOT Show, and you'd be like, oh, okay, well.
They're just copying someone or...
No, my point being is they just call it SHOT Show and make it open.
Yes.
Rather than just calling it like they could have said like, oh, this is the West Coast or Mid-East Gun Show. You'd be like, oh, okay, that's like...
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
But yeah, no, so it should be a very good time. It's going to be Sunday. It's going to be indoors. So it is always 70 and sunny here in Extreme. I know it's going to be a little bit later in the year than normal. Usually we do it like early March. This year it's going to be pushed back to April, just because there's a lot of stuff going on. A few weekends before, like there's that game that Tom's putting on. What is it? Operation. It's
Cold Steel?
yeah, Cold Steel. Right. I should know that because I want to go.
Because
I want to go to it. And yeah, so that should be a lot of fun. It's a local, as Gordon put it, the gathering of the tribes. So if you're looking for a team or you're on a team looking to recruit, it's an excellent place. You can set up. It says $10 to vend, or $10 to display, $20 if you would like to actual sell stuff like team patches, apparel, other stuff like that. It should be a very, very good time. Of course, Nerf Nights are going on every Wednesday. So Jake, we're not even on the topic yet, so I'm not going to acknowledge that comment, although we did.
Someone asked about Daytona guns.
No.
And no, so it's no systems that have an external. I assume you already talked about this.
Yes. So it's just gas weapons.
So yeah,
it's not over Daytona guns though.
So what it has to be like it's a gas and mag thing, but
no
not
HPA tap mags.
Yeah, no HPA tabs.
No HPA rigs.
No tapazines.
No HPA tap pistols even.
What about HPA tap shotguns?
No.
Really?
No HPA tapped anything. Because it still doesn't increase mag capacity, but
exactly, and it does increase the ability
to
do it.
But I'd say that
it's different. I feel like if it's a tapazine, like how people have the high kappas with the UMP mags attached to them.
But it still changes how you play.
True.
You're
severely limited on it. Like you have to carry more on you if you're going to be on the field doing that.
Right. So you could with a HPA tap shotgun, you can carry 1,000,000 shells and just be blasting rounds all throughout the game. You're not limited like everybody else is by the amount of gas you have in your gun.
That's a fair way to put it.
So that's kind of why I want to say stay away from HPA tap to anything. It's purely
self-contained system then.
Exactly.
We'll call it that in a very...
And Tippins don't count because they're still high capacity not high caps, but they're higher capacity. Tippin mags, even with the CO2 in them, are still 80 round mags.
Right, I'm not gonna lie, I was on the edge with Tippmans, one way or the other, but like you said, at the end, they are much higher capacity.
Yeah, and then if you ran it, you could run it
broke by the time you were done the night if you ran it that way.
True.
Out of CO2, you'd have to
buy. It sucks because you don't go through all the CO2 all the time, so it's pretty bad. Like after your 80 shots, you just pull out the mag and it dumps the CO2, so you don't really have anything.
Not the most flushed out design, but that's okay.
But so that's a pistol shotgun night / gas blowback self-contained units.
Just put that in the title of the next event. Self-contained system or self-contained gun system.
Thanks so much. If you can tell, we're all a little tired today. We apologize for that, but
I'm not. I'm in a great mood for it. I went to the gym after I got off work before I came back here, so I'm in that post-gym high still. Oh yeah, sorry, headphone users. But no, I feel great. I'm just
I came here early to play, and instead, I didn't play. It was busy today.
It was busy, yeah. And like
I just hopped right on.
Players. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so is there any other? Oh, also February 11th.
February 11th is
going to be our World War II event that is going to be themed around the D-Day invasion, one of the most large-scale operations that we've seen in our time.
The largest amphibious. We haven't even seen it in our time. We weren't alive for that.
Well, like in like our, I guess.
In the last century.
Yeah, era.
In the.
I mean, you know, you hear like, you know, like.
It was the largest amphibious invasion ever.
There you go. So that should be lots of fun.
Awesome.
Registration is live. Also, memberships have been flowing in. Make sure you guys are doing that.
What are we up to? How many now?
I think we're up to like 4 or 5 right now.
For what?
For memberships.
Oh, dude, memberships.
Just for the EFT.
I'm trying to get it out. It's a lot of the customers. Like even though we blasted and posted everywhere, it's still not prevalent yet. So we're spreading the good word to all the homies out there.
Yes.
Shout out to my real
ones. Like a hardcore advertising campaign for that.
That's what he basically was saying.
Yeah, that's what I need to. We'll just have to make it look cool.
To you today.
I don't know, but it's awesome. Like half the staff, half the staff don't know all the details. So I went over today a bunch of them. I went over the details with them.
Do you want to go over again on the screen, just real quick, just run through?
All right, so quick, we have 3 different, essentially, packages you can purchase. So you have the EFT membership, which is the best membership you can possibly get. It's $60 a month. $60 a month. It's an automatic fund transfer the same day, every month, from your PayPal account. So have it set up to whatever you want. Your savings, debit card, credit card, whatever you kind of want to do with that. It's totally up to you. It's just $60, and then the first day you come and play, you pay a $35 activation fee. If you have a membership, you do $15 all month air. So rather than having to pay $10 every time you come here, you pay $15, which is super awesome for unlimited air refills for a month. But that also opens up, the EFT membership gets you not only unlimited admissions for the entire month, which means you come 3 times on like a Saturday, and it's already paid for. You'll also get guest pass. So what that means, if you have somebody that's never played here before, whether they have their own stuff or not, and you bring them here, we have no track of them in our system, then we'll cover their admission and rental for free, because we understand that not everybody that's ever played Airsoft or been interested in Airsoft, $45, can kind of be a little bit of an investment for something they might not like. Or might leave after a little bit. So get them in there, try it out, see if they like it, and then hopefully if they like it, they'll be a part of your little squad. You get the rules video pass, so that means once a weekend you have to do it, watch the rules video. So if you come on Friday, you watch the video, you don't have to watch it Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday if we do Monday gaming. So
honestly, that's the best one.
Yeah, like a lot of people have taken advantage of that, and they're pretty excited.
You just make the rules video longer and longer to increase memberships.
Yeah.
It's all a scheme.
And then free event admission as well. So all of the events normally you'll see they're about $10 more in overall cost to come play, but you don't need to spend any money on it at all. You come in store, you check we have your membership, or you call us up, you say what team you want to be on, then you're there and you're good to go. And that includes our 9-year, which is even more expensive than normal days of play. Alone in event costs, that'll save you over $200 just doing that. You don't get that with any of the other packages. So those are kind of the pros and cons of the EFT. After that, you have the 3, 6, 12-month memberships where you just play one flat rate. You don't need to pay an activation fee or anything.
Never offer.
But you get less perks. You do get, thank you. You get the rules video pass and you get the unlimited admissions, but you don't get the guest pass or the event membership, events. You don't get events for free. And if you do the 1-month membership, you only get unlimited admissions, no rules video pass, no event admission, no this. And we're trying to figure out some deals as well. We'll also go with the EFT memberships. They'll get a little bit of a.
And the pricing on all the other memberships is right on our website. It's a lot of numbers to go over. So
yeah, extremeairsoftri.com/membership.
The membership. Also, what's up, Emmett? Thanks for streaming all the way from VA.
What? You said what?
Emmett Daly.
Emmett?
Emmett.
You just called it Emirates.
Did I say Emirates? I'm sorry, Emmett. I almost said it word again.
How do you know who we are?
I'm
just curious. I'm curious, Emmett. Just let us know. That's awesome.
Probably,
I like when people not here.
But yeah, let's jump. We've already had a few comments on Facebook about the topic itself. So
are we gonna go?
We're gonna dive right up into that.
So let's start just real quick with each of our own opinions. Where do you come from in this discussion?
So it's really hard to pick like a definitive side on this one. A lot of people.
Isn't that what this whole thing's about? Though?
We need to pick a side on.
Well,
no, he can say he's undecided as his viewpoint. The idea is to tell people our viewpoints before we enter the discussion.
So a lot of people argue this is a hobby, a sport hobby.
I feel like you just made that word up. Like,
no, I've seen it around many times.
You made up that word.
Yeah, prove that to me later.
All right, I'm pretty sure Cobalt calls it a spobby, but I'll look into it. Anyways,
I'm gonna believe it.
But it's really hard for me to say one thing because sports to me are something that are like national championships, like like it's recognized as a sport, and that's not something you see a lot in airsoft. Even with paintball, was that ever officially like recognized as a sport?
Paintball's a sport.
Okay.
Paintball is like it's like one of those extreme sports or something, probably. Right? Extreme.
Yeah, so Joseph C, I mean, he just chimed in. He said definitely a hobby, but I guess it could be considered a sport with all the running around and but
in the activity manner.
But does the sport always
get into the discussion? The idea is what's your viewpoint?
What do you? What is your opinion?
Okay, my opinion is I don't know. I mean, it's I can't decide.
Just say okay.
It's just this thing that I do that I'm really into, and yes, there is a lot of physical activity involved.
But that doesn't necessarily.
But there's also a lot of like technical stuff on the other side that would be qualified for hobby. So I don't really know.
So my opinion is it's just straight a hobby. I'll go into why I think that, but I'm definitely coming from the viewpoint. I really think just a hobby, not a sport, and I think that's a good thing, honestly. But I don't know.
And I think it depends on what you're playing. I mean, for the most part, honestly, I believe it's a hobby. There's not really any way when you think of, we'll talk about it more. But I say most of the time it's going to be a hobby. But if you're doing something like how they have the Speed QB tournaments out, that's turning it into a sport. That's focusing on airsoft as a sport versus as a hobby. So if you're doing something like that, like team tournaments and stuff, that's an actual exemplification of it as a sport. But otherwise, it's just a hobby.
Yeah. Right. So I guess I'll start with what I think. Tune in below, chat, and tell me if you agree with me, disagree with me, or whatever you want.
Tell me I smell.
Right.
Whatever you want.
Open up one of the YouTubes. I got a Facebook over here.
I know, I'm checking YouTube.
Look at it.
Airsoftology, Jonathan apparently called it a spobby. So
see,
there's two people that are wrong in the world.
Sorry. Love you.
Isaiah says he already disagrees.
With what?
I don't know with who.
Just with the whole conversation.
Oh, maybe with me just saying, let me know if you disagree with me. Either way. So here's my thought process: is a sport to me is really something that it has a few identifiers in my book. Obviously, the physical activity is one part of it, but there's plenty of hobbies that are like I mountain bike it. Not a sport too, Well, actually, I suppose that. Yeah, to be fair, that's actually probably more of a sport.
Yeah.
Only because of the other identifiers, which are there's professional teams. And you might say, oh, I'm a professional team.
Anybody can say they're a professional.
You're not paid by any kind of real sponsor.
What about sponsored?
No, you can't. That's totally different. Because like professional teams are sponsored by like Coca-Cola and things like that, like in sports. You know what I mean? They're not sponsored by other people that support the industry.
I see
So what I mean, like a soccer team, they might be supported by Adidas, but Adidas does stuff other than make soccer shoes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Falcon doesn't do they sell airsoft stuff.
Yeah, you're not like, oh yeah, we're a soccer team, we're supported by Vulcan. You don't see that kind of stuff happen. Pretty much.
But so my thing is things like sponsorship, and you have actual tournaments with people who refs are their careers, not just their high school jobs. where the outcome matters, things like that. Even small hobbies have this. Like obviously, as much as I love rugby, it's a very small sport in the United States, but you still have a very professional side of things that Airsoft is kind of lacking. So maybe it could become a sport someday, and a lot of hobbies do turn into sports. But for the moment, I'd say definitely on the hobby side of stuff because of that. You can't be a professional Airsofter. You can be a professional personality, like Jet and Leah are. But they make their money, and their career right now is being the personality that does Airsoft. They don't make their money playing Airsoft.
Okay, I hear you there.
That's my viewpoint.
I mean, so
That's true.
another good question that's been brought up to me a few times is like, since Airsoft is an honor-based game, can you really call it a sport?
Well, actually,
you can't rely on humans.
that
to be 100%
doesn't
honest.
remind me of one more thing I wanted to point out. Sports have designated, agreed upon rule sets. That does not exist in Airsoft.
True.
Like,
It says James law enforcement do that, and so does the army.
Do what?
Oh, never mind. Oh, he was talking about someone named James on the comments. I'm like, wait, what? What?
I'm like, James Dell, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
I'm really
well, actually, we can answer that question real quick. What are your guys' thoughts on using CQB as a place to train and move tactically?
I mean, where else?
That's what it's about.
We've actually had, I can't say who specifically, I believe, but we've actually had police departments and other teams come in and train on our
Private
facilities.
security forces.
I'm not gonna lie, then one of the, James is gonna hate me for bringing this up again, but it's one of the best work days I've ever had in my life because they let us be the opposing
The bad
force.
guys?
They let us be the bad
Yeah,
guys.
on your home field.
And use munitions to shoot at a bunch of cops, like.
Didn't you say like? Did you say like you faked them out and you came around a corner and smoked 3 of them?
They weren't ready for this.
And then the trainer guy was like, "Oh, you should like." He gave me one of the sound grenades, and like it was a thunder beam, but he was like, "Oh, you should throw this on at him at some point." I like peeked out a window, and there was like 5 of them stacked there. And I was like, "Whoop."
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun day.
Sweet softing.
But
Yeah, we've had canine.
yeah, that's true.
We've had canines figure. They hide like drugs on the field, and they're like, all right, fetch.
Oh, actually, and that does remind me of another one of the things from when a group of people came in to train here, professionals came in to train here, is and this as you might guess inspired one of the game types for Spec Ops Night. Is Fuge? Do you remember? You know Kevin Shepard, right? Kevin, as in friend group Kevin.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Astronaut. He
I'm reading a comment.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of talking to you. This is what I'm talking about. Either way, so Fuge was supposed to have him in a chokehold and like step out of the doorway, and Fuge was supposed to be like the bad guy, and Kevin was supposed to be a hostage. But he stepped out of the doorway, and before Fuge could even be like, "Don't come any closer, I'll shoot," he was like, "Don't come any," and like just lit up Kevin.
Really? That's a good buddy.
He's like, "What?"
With ammunition too.
They're like, "Okay, let's reset. Let's try this again."
That's way good funny. But Cameron says, I'm going to keep going about taking military unit there next month. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Hit us up when we'll work something out.
We have like a whole process we follow that
Yeah,
makes everything easier on both parties. So
Absolutely. We're really flexible, like with like the space, like you're able to move our buildings to fit a specific scenario we're trying to train for. So we're absolutely open to law enforcement and military training. But anyways, kind of move back to the back to this with the whole honor thing. So since this is a game that relies purely on the player's honor to call their own hit,
which is why tournaments don't work.
exactly. And Harrison Wilkes said it in a few months ago. A few streams ago. He said competition and honor do not mix well, and I would completely agree. Usually, when there's an incentive involved, people are less likely to play honorably because they want to win. That's human nature. There's nothing we can really do about that. We can be as strict as we want with the rules, but
Right. So you need a ref per person at that point.
Exactly.
That's still like that.
Exactly, and then, well, at that point, like, oh, there's a ref there. I wonder where the enemy player is. That's me.
Right.
It gets a little obvious. But yeah, so can you really even ever call it a sport unless You remember that thing that made it a while ago with like the exosuits that detect a hit?
But then I'd argue, you're not playing Airsoft anymore, you're playing laser tag with pellets.
Yeah, I would agree completely with that.
That video went viral, holy crap,
Yeah.
a lot arguing.
People in like China were sharing it and stuff. That was pretty cool. But yeah, no, that was it's just an interesting topic of the whole honor-based thing.
So, yeah, and before we respond to more comments, what's your opinion, Dan? And
I
then
mean,
we'll hit some
that's the
comments
thing.
here.
The thing is that the whole reason that we've seen such a big boom in like the Speedsoft kind of side of things is because out west they have the Speed QB tournaments where they have a bunch of referees overviewing an entire thing, and it's heavily regulated. Like these rules are really incredibly strict, and the punishments for them are incredibly large too. You know, and you have referees have final decision. Whatever they say is it. You know, and that's normally how it goes. But I don't know, it's super heavily regulated out there, man. There's referees still, even though it's not like a profession, it's still something that's like being taken seriously, you know? I mean, that's kind of how it all, honestly starts. You have a bunch of dudes that like didn't really care about it, you know? Like,
Well, it could be kind of considered the same as like, and you know, I relate to this a lot. It's like with paintball, you have woods ball and you have speedball. And speedball kind of really did become a sport in paintball.
Yeah.
With an agreed upon rule set. You had tournaments, you had refs. It seems to be kind of happening with the whole speed assault,
over
which is
pretty much like, I don't remember who, it's super big. I don't remember, what is it? It's not, who is it? Tag City, I think. They mostly do it there, but they have this it's every game, same rule set, everything is the same the way it's set up. You know, there's more than enough staff out there that are out there doing that thing. And I mean, more people, probably some of our viewers will know a little bit better than me. I'm not super well versed. I've watched a few videos, and I mean, it's really interesting the way that they play it, and then it turns into a sport. You know, there's an objective. The objective isn't just shoot each other. That is part of it, but there's 25 points, I think, if I remember. There's 25 points is worth, so it's a 5-on-5. 5 points per player, and then you get 25 points if, I believe what it is you have to grab the flag in the center of the field and then bring it to the enemy team's spawn wall. But it's like single kill elimination, like
I prefer that stuff. You know what's funny? On that note, is we've started a game type here, like whole elimination series.
Yes.
A lot of speedsofters here hate it. That voice crack happened. Voice, yeah, right. They hate.
Will you take me to prom? I mentioned that was you, right? No.
As I was saying, they hate it because, and to quote what one of them said, he goes, usually, you know, we can run up, we get hit by somebody, we go back to spawn, now we know where that person is, and we come back up and we can shoot them. The whole point of the elimination series game we've been doing here is everyone goes back to respawn, and only then do people respawn.
You see, that's the easiest way to outplay a Speedsofter. It happened yesterday when I was
after you shoot them.
when I was playing. Like I was in a power room and I kept going back and forth with this kid. Well, not back and forth. It was more just like me hitting him. But every time that he tried to enter that room, I was in a different position, in a different place, engaging in a different way.
That spot.
He didn't. He just run into the one time. I was like in the corner at the doorway, waiting, like right up against the door, like in the corner. So if he walked in, he wouldn't have seen me. So he just walks in, just saying safety, safety, safety. Didn't even point at me, and I safetied him, but he kept trying to go. So I got him out then. I dropped back in the room far enough where I could shoot him if he came in the room the next time, and just shot him. And then I moved up on the doorway and got down. Like you just need to. I don't know. Everybody just does the same thing. Like they'll stand there for 5 minutes just shooting at the same wall where somebody's been hiding, and you're just like, you literally could have done 30 different things, you know? Like people just get
it's that mentality of it worked once, I want to keep doing it.
Exactly. They're like, why doesn't this running in the middle of everything work every time? Like, it's like, well, I know, you know.
Like my favorite thing to do on this field is I'll go through power and S building 2 or 3 times in a row. So everyone starts pushing that way. It's like, oh, somebody keeps running through there. And I just filter through the back of the field and run past everybody. And I'm like, yep.
Usually if I'm like the only one that, Like if I'm the only one in the power room, I'll wait. I won't poke out or engage anybody. I'll wait for everybody to think it's all safe, so then the enemy team suddenly just comes rushing in all at once. That's why I got like 4 dudes yesterday. It's pretty.
And camping is a valid tactic, okay?
But all right,
Absolutely a valid tactic.
let's hit some of the comments here real quick, and we'll get back into the discussion side of things. So I saw Zach here mentioned it can be a sport though too. Technically speaking, there are refs, there's a point system, and there is an audience. One team wins, one team loses.
True. They like live streamed a tournament not that long ago. They live streamed it actually like happening. I didn't watch it, of course, but I saw that it was there, like a bunch of gameplay, but it's super fast paced.
Right. Like G&G. Like I think those are more like target shootings is what they do.
Yeah, G&G only does the
whole
target
thing out there.
Right. So and I'd argue more. What was I gonna say? Is when you're talking about the speed CQB stuff like that, the basically turning what was speedball and paintball into an airsoft element. Yeah. That is a sport because it becomes more and more tournament style based. There are enough refs, things like that.
But beyond that, when
like,
you start pushing out into like
just like woods ball and paintball is never a sport.
Exactly.
You're never gonna have what was woods ball is Milsim now.
Pretty much, yeah. So like something like Milsim, like in that sense, airsoft in general, unless it's like specifically that speed QB kind of thing, it's gonna be a hobby. You know, you can't always. I mean, like you said, you need a ref per player. Right. You can't rely on something like that. It's different when it's in a really enclosed space where it's fast, but it's really easy to tell what's going on.
Right. I guess that's what makes it hard is like if you play soccer, I mean, there's no way to play soccer other than to play the same game everybody else plays.
Yeah.
What makes airsoft so different and
there's so many versions.
Everybody can play whatever they want.
You can play it as a sport,
which I guess kind of makes sense with the speed QB thing. It makes sense with the speed QB thing because everybody is generally going to be playing the same. Whereas like at an airsoft
shooting thing that they do out
there. I call that a whole different kind of element. Target shooting versus like playing the game.
Right, well, I mean airsoft, like they're still using airsoft guns and they still use the keyword airsoft all over.
Yeah, but that's like saying target shooting with real guns in war are the same thing as you're using guns in total cases.
Yeah,
I guess so.
But is it a sport though?
Like, there's prizes at the end.
But that's part. I wouldn't say it's.
But you're not playing airsoft.
It's a competition thing.
You're using airsoft. You're not playing airsoft.
It's competing against.
It's airsoft as like a noun versus a verb kind of thing.
Yes. So then what would then what would you define airsoft as? Like if you're like for the argument of a sport.
That's like me saying me kicking soccer balls into a goal is the same as playing a game of soccer. They're two completely different things.
Like you can do that, but in order to get it to be a sport, I feel like there has to be. I mean, there are a lot of you need referees, you need teams, it can't be just.
I'm not saying this the target shooting with airsoft isn't a sport. I'm saying that's not really what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dana's made the argument that speed QB would be the closest thing airsoft can become to a sport.
I would agree.
So, in the same scenario, it follows very structured, like rule set and objective and stuff like that.
Right.
Do you think you could see Milsim if it were to be brought with an extremely structured and an objective-based game? You think like a Milsim game or something like that would in any way, shape, or form, let's even if it's like 4v4, like 4 teams on, like 8 teams total, 4v4 in terms of teams, and like
I would say
you structure that and you have a play field and you work towards a specific goal within a certain rule set.
I would say
would that not be a sport?
I would say absolutely no, and here's my reasoning why. When you're doing that CQB thing like we were talking about earlier, the objective is winning. That is it.
Yeah.
And doing everything you can within the rule set to achieve that. When we do these Milsim games, as much as we hate to admit it, there is an element of LARPing that goes into it. And it's a good portion of the game is about immersing yourself in the experience and having fun. And if you're just going out there to, yes, winning is a part of it, but it's not all of it.
It's like a Milsim style game structured around winning.
Then it wouldn't be
Well,
Milsim.
that's kind of.
Then it wouldn't be Milsim.
That's
it would
part
be,
of what it is.
Well,
anyways.
I
But the
guess
problem that you
I
run
guess I
into is that.
misused the keyword Milsim.
Yeah,
The problem is that there are
military
so many
simulation.
ways. There are just so many different ways that you can try to achieve the goal. Like if you say, like,
Right.
we're using soccer, playing soccer. How do I win? I get the ball in the net. I bring it
Right,
there.
there's
And it's
strategy.
dribbling. There's
There's-
strategy, but it's not like.
There's a single element you're
Yeah.
trying to achieve. And that's what I'm saying is Milsim, what you're describing to me is like a skirmish. And
Yeah.
you might say a skirmish in the woods could be maybe turned into a sport in the far future. But Milsim, I don't think ever will, because as a military simulation, putting yourself, like I said, it is a form of live action role playing, whether we like to admit it or not.
We're just a bunch of geeks.
Putting our
Geeks in military gear.
putting yourself, and that brings us into probably next week's topic, which is the whole form versus function.
Yeah.
Also, it's like
that.
in Milsim games, like, and achieving objectives. There's a lot of unconventional thinking that you need to have. Like that's sometimes how some objectives get
Yeah.
accomplished because something crazy has to happen or
So-
you do something crazy.
See,
Like
that's the thing. Is like
that.
Milsim games. I put more towards it's like a real version of playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I mean
You
it
have-
pretty much is.
You have a game master who tries to mess with people by putting in all these funny little scenarios that happen and stuff like that. It's like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons in real life, and I don't think we'd ever say Dungeons and Dragons is a sport.
Can you win money from it?
We're LARPers.
Yes, but if you still, anyone in the comments below, give us an honest answer. Would you consider D&D a sport?
I mean, you see like these Magic the Gathering tournaments.
Oh yes, but that's my point. They're still hobbies. So you can have tournaments. That's exactly the point I'm trying to make. You can have tournaments in something that's not a sport.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the, like, you see how it's, like, I follow a bunch of airsofters that kind of do the whole thing, and they have all these shirts that are, like, LARPerator, you know, like, they understand, they know, they're like, yeah, we're pretty much, we're LARPing.
And actually, something Zach mentioned here, is he's saying if you were playing horse in basketball, would you say you're playing it as a hobby and not a sport? And I would completely say yes.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a sport when you play a basketball game. You're playing the sport of basketball. Playing horse is using a basketball to play a different game that's not the sport.
Yes.
So it's and that's the whole thing is it's this difference between again noun and verb. You're using a basketball to play basketball. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there is a differentiation. Playing horse and all these other derivatives of games, or like even home run derbies with a baseball, anything like that. You're not playing the sport of baseball. You're using a baseball to do something that, in my opinion, is more hobby-based. And a lot of people who play sports, it is also their hobby. You can't. I'm not saying a sport can't be a hobby. I'm saying not every necessarily this hobby is a sport.
Isaiah said on YouTube, he said, Airsoft should always be undefined, that way anyone can play. That way anyone can play is however they want.
I'm not sure I get it.
Airsoft should always be
that if
undefined.
you define it as something,
It has,
then it
there
gets
has
more
to be a certain
specific.
way, yeah.
I suppose so.
You have to have a certain set, whereas you can, I mean, and this is like, yes. I guess it depends on how much of a mindset you have. Like, I think that's what it, I guess
That's really what it comes down to is the mindset.
It's the mindset. That's what it is. If you think of it as just a hobby, then you're just like, oh well, it's just a hobby. You take out it'll remove elements from it, from kind of the core of what a lot of people believe. And so by not defining it, it's like, I mean, you're leaving it open to interpretation, which is good, but also you need a, yeah.
So I guess let's move the discussion to here. In your opinion, James, what would have to happen for you to define it as airsoft is absolutely a hobby?
It's absolutely a hobby.
I mean, sorry, it's absolutely a sport.
Okay, I was like,
And my boy Metroplex said yes, D&D is definitely a sport. I don't know anything about D&D, so I can't
I can't say I agree.
I can't
think
confirm
it's
or
very,
deny.
very hobby.
I mean, like you're working up a sweat. You're like, what's the next move? You know, like D&D.
Well, again, and I want to bring back to, I don't think physical activity is necessarily identifier in either direction.
Like, what is a chess considered a sport?
Right. Well, yeah. 2 point. Yeah, 2 point. But the point is,
Asking the real questions.
But also like video games, like esports and stuff.
Well, yeah, so that's my point. I don't think, and I
doesn't
think
mean
esports
physical.
are the thing. I'm saying physical activity
Physicality is
doesn't
not.
necessarily define something as a sport
Right.
or a hobby.
Yes.
But on the same token, D&D, again, because it's a whole, there's a game master making, not necessarily the rule set, because I know there's like 18,000 chapters of rules and style, but you have a game master who's, for the most part, making the story, and so it's not following the same thing every time. Sorry, the leaf blower just went by to clean the hallway and it distracted me a moment. But as I was saying, what would you make it? What would need to happen for you to make it a sport?
For me to make it a sport, I think it would have to have a very defined structure and rule set. I know that's kind of vague, but like most sports most sports that you see play within a very
You mean like a
defined-
national-
That's
like-
exactly where I'm.
That's what it is. Like if you're playing soccer and you're playing,
Everyone
if
knows
you're not,
that.
it's like the FIFA. Okay, there's a specific set of rules that anybody has to follow. The referees follow these rules. This is what is nationally and
You don't-
internationally mandated. Like
You don't need to
these are the
explain
rules.
to the players what the rules are for that specific game
Exactly.
before each game.
You don't need to be like, hey, listen. So we're playing a game of soccer. You know, like,
If you kick it from here, it's 3 points instead of 1. You know,
yeah, there's
you
nothing.
added
You don't
rules.
need a. Okay, this time. Slide tackling. You know, for no reason's okay. We won't give you a red card. That kind of stuff doesn't keep changing. It's a nationally.
I
There's a
agree that
national
it is
standard.
tough. That's why we're having
There is
this
a national standard for that. You know, you're like, if you're going to a soccer game, it is expected that these rules are going to be followed, especially if it's like, if it's getting into, I mean, anybody will follow that. Like, even recreational soccer, like, I was part of rec teams, I refereed soccer, like, you had to get certified as a referee. You had specific training, you had to take tests. These were the rules, this is what they are, and this is the rules that everybody plays by, whether it's 9-year-olds playing at my soccer field down the street, or whether it's people
Right.
playing in the World
Right.
Cup. You know,
And-
it's the same, and we don't have that. Every Milsim event runner
Has
has
their own
something
rule set.
different. Milsim West versus American Milsim versus MSATO versus Staghouse, and that's huge.
To name a few.
Which actually-
there's many other rule sets. out
Which
there.
actually brings us into not next week's stream, but the one after that, or the one after that, because the one after that's going to be some fun. But the one is we're going to discuss rule sets and stuff between different event runners, what we like, what we don't, how we think they can be matured, so on and so forth. But that's in a few weeks. To address Jonathan's comment here is if paintball is considered a sport, so can airsoft. I would say maybe airsoft can in the future, but for much of the reason Dan just described here, I don't think it yet is. There isn't that defined rule set that everyone uses. Whereas paintball, now woodsball, again, I don't think anyone would ever call it woodsball. I would say was more of a hobby aspect.
I don't know. I skipped paintball in my life, so I'm completely
With speedballs, we had like the inflatable bunkers, and it was
Yeah, I've seen all that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that one, they had a defined rule set, and countrywide, everyone used the exact same rule set, similar courses, all this kind of stuff. Like you could go online 2 months or like a month before you go to your event down in Virginia or whatever, and look at how the field's going to be laid out. And they used to do that here, which back when this was a paintball field behind us, they would lay out the course exactly like it's going to be at the event they were going to and practice on it. You can't do that in airsoft.
Yeah.
And that's why I say maybe airsoft can in the future, but right now it's just a few steps from, in my opinion, being called a sport. They also made another comment for airsoft to be 100% considered a sport, needs to be tracked the correct way. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? I'm not sure I exactly know what you mean.
Like a scoring kind of.
Right. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
His specific.
Fielding a Question by Will Hicks.
And then Zach, maybe airsoft is the most complex sport in the world.
Yeah.
It's the competition that makes it a sport. This is tough.
Yeah.
It will be open before
That's
Pistol
it.
Shotgun Night will.
We'll
be open. The store will be open at
Airsoft.
11, but we're not going to have any gaming prior to 5 o'clock.
So, in
Monty.
what's in your opinion? What would need to happen to make airsoft 100% definitely a sport? Building on what James
To
said.
make it a sport is that it's It's the whole honor system thing, like
You need
at
something.
to make it a sport at every level, you need a better system of
Marketing.
marketing.
Here we go. Ready?
That's the problem, is because people have, but you can't. There's no real way. Like people have tried, like putting paint in airsoft balls or dust-covered airsoft BBs.
No,
all of those things. So that's
I just have a great idea.
there has to be a way to track that because
Eliminate the honor issue.
No, so
because that's what it is. You have to get rid of that. You have to get rid of the honor system. I think that's what it is. Like, that's the whole thing in soccer. If you're playing soccer, I don't need to rely on the honor system. There are referees that are watching me every step of the way what I'm doing. They're always following the ball and then whatever else is going on, you know?
Right.
You don't have to rely on honor. You don't have to rely on people calling themselves out, being like, oh yeah, I slide tackle that guy, so you should just give me a red card kind of thing. It's like, no, I just watched that happen. Give him a red card.
I think I'm missing things.
So,
Do not.
I think you need a better way to track it. You got to remove the honor system. You have to take that away, whether it's
Okay.
just
So, right. So actually, building on what you say. So here's my thing. And nowadays, we're all spending $1,000 plus in airsoft guns. Easily, a lot of people. I think if you want to make it a sport, we all buy simunition guns. Start and just it doesn't hurt anymore.
Wait, what? Like the paint-filled ones?
Yeah.
So that wasn't my idea, but I think it's kind of similar. It's kind of similar, and I'll explain why in a second.
But we all just start for the same price. We just buy simunition guns, and
I mean, talking about it, building on this, like that could, I mean, because it's just like people, like you can get the
and it'd be so much more fun.
Yeah, because like
And
there's
it's finally just been legalized
You're
to buy
incredible.
simunition rounds.
yes,
As a
and you see that thing in Vegas, or in Florida, wherever. I'm sure it's a few places where they have an arena set up, and you shoot the other players. Once you're out, you then throw your guns down and you wrestle them, and whoever like wins the wrestle competition or whatever gets points. And then at the end, they tally up all the spots, see who got shot the most, and whoever has the most shots loses. That could absolutely be turned into some kind of game. Maybe it would probably be a bit more speed QB style, but
sounds like you owe me $1.
no. My idea was this.
Okay.
What you do is it's skins versus skins. You crank the FPS up to 600, and whoever's bleeding, obviously they were shot.
That already exists. It's called PaintSoft.
Really? That's a thing?
Yeah,
PaintSoft?
It's popular in like more Asian environments.
Yeah, it's popular overseas.
But
You see it every so
the
often.
idea is you only call hit when you can't take it anymore.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You literally just keep dumping
Yeah, you
rounds
just
into
dump
people.
rounds into people,
Until
and
they
then
call
when you
themselves
can't
out.
stand it anymore, you call hit.
Like, that's when you'll see those videos. You'll see those videos of people playing like overseas, and they'll just literally like they just have a million eye gaps, and you just see them with their guns over their heads, just
I would turn
shooting
up
at
like
each
40
other.
rounds
What
a
does it
second.
just take like just like start drilling into each other's bodies? It's just like just
Have you
torture
seen
each
what
other.
pellets do to concrete walls?
Literal torture, dude.
We literally have a hole this big in our concrete walls because it's behind a firing lane.
Yeah. BBs.
It's like this deep
Like,
and this
yeah, it's
bigger
like-
around.
Let me say BBs are the termites of cement.
Like,
Or
God.
something like that.
It's actually, Jonathan, if you go back into our videos a long time ago, there's actually a suit already exists. It's being developed in Taiwan. We discussed it a moment ago. It's interesting, and the price of it is going to, I'm sure, be absurd, but it's actually still very, very cool. And I'd like to see where the technology progresses in a few years. Before
Yeah.
I think
It was an impact-based helmet chest and helmet. The only issue with that is, like, of course it'll detect any hit on that surface. But then fingers, shoes, all that stuff, like.
And now it becomes even more so, like, well, if it's not ding-ding, then I'm not hit.
Yeah, exactly, and then it gets real cheesy.
Right.
But yeah, that's definitely an interesting concept. I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see how the technology progresses.
If we had like force fields around our bodies, and if it
What?
it's like,
Shoot metal. Just have like a magnetic sensor.
like
on your
real
body.
life hitboxes.
You just have like a magnetic field around you with a magnetic sensor. When a metal BB passes through that magnetic field, it will fluctuate it. The sensor will detect it. We just shoot metal BBs at each other.
Yes, solution found. All right.
Just have to make the metal BBs a little we're good.
Gosh. Yeah, dude. Overseas, man, Like I've seen the videos of dudes just
I
railing
thought
into
it was
each
a bit
other.
more tame
It's-
overseas.
Here, I mean, I saw it once or twice here. I've
Yeah,
seen
it's
some
a thing.
videos.
Look,
Like people will literally just stand, like 2 players will do it. That's more guerrilla fighting. Never mind. Guerrilla fighting was the dumbest, probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen. People are like, oh, look at all the welts on me, and you're like, oh, what a dingus. I didn't want to swear.
I appreciate it. I think we've actually been
Yeah, so far this is a very clean stream, so go us.
But
Who's gonna ruin
I was
it
just
now?
waiting for you to say something, James. Like, this has been a great stream, so.
But yeah, so like I said, in my opinion, on a serious note, I'm not gonna lie though, I would love if Simunition, like Simunition gameplay became a thing.
If we could use simulation here.
If we could have like Simunition night.
Yeah, thank you. Jinx,
God, I would show up to that every.
No, that would be insane.
time. It is. I can't tell you how much fun.
You know, we've looked into it because Numerex does offer simunition guns. I mean, they are very expensive. So in order for us to get like a
I mean, they cost as much. They're a real gun with a different barrel.
yeah. So like in order for us to, you know,
$600 per gun.
exactly like
What about
like,
how are the Umarex T4, the
like the
41,
pistols?
the T41?
The
They have them as a 416.
Yeah, well, the 416 one is like a $900 retail gun.
Mhm.
So for us to set up a fleet to, you know, feasibly do a night,
Very
no
small
one wants
fleet.
a simunition gun. They can
The
bring with
fleet
them.
has 2 guns.
So I mean, the pistols would be a bit more reasonable.
Can we do training for cops? Like every police department in the state.
Would want to do that. Oh yeah, no, the marketing and the business opportunities there are very fruitful, but it's just it's a huge investment.
So I think honestly the best way to do it is you get the Simunition 226s. So it's in the 226 retail is what, $600?
I think so.
And then you just get the kit, which is like another $100. And just puts different barrel, different firing pin in there, so you can fire real rounds. But you need like what, a dozen, 20 of these?
Yeah, just to start off small.
So you're talking $12,000 investment.
Yeah, that's a really big investment. Like, but man, that was,
Yeah, so,
but
someday.
So, for those of you who are interested in a very unique investing opportunity,
More so, those of you that would play every single Simunition night we ever had, which would be definitely me, let us know.
yeah, let us know and we'll see what we can do.
Bring it down.
God.
Sorry.
That would be great, though. I would, and you know, I think we've had this discussion a few times, like the future of airsoft. Where do you see airsoft moving? And I have always believed that we will move towards
way more expensive than I
simunition.
thought.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure they're like
It's like
pistols.
$899 for $600.
What about the PPQs?
I mean, you can.
There's
but
PPQ
It needs to have a
No,
simunition kit.
no, the Umarex
Oh.
ones that were out of the box, ready to go, they retail at like $300.
So here's my one issue. You want something that it uses real gun parts.
Yeah, because then you can argue that it's.
Well, and when it breaks, it's pennies to
Well,
fix.
I mean, you're saying Umarex isn't going to back it up for that?
No, they will, but I'm just.
But you want to be able to make sure that it's
Like,
cheap
that's
to
my point.
fix.
If you use a real gun with a kit, then it's just a lot. It's more durable.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
But yeah.
Like so, well, kind of building on this, kind of trying to tie it to the discussion. Do you think we could see simunition as a sport?
I think so. Now that the U.S. has made it legal to buy simunition rounds for
Yeah,
business
nice.
Competitions and other such skirmishes.
I think it's going to take some time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Good
think,
time for airsoft to get to
Right,
the point where
exactly.
we are.
I could totally see. Of course, other countries are going to look at like these freaking Americans shoot wax bullets at each other. They with real guns.
Americans and their
Well,
guns.
they were crazy. They were the dudes that back then were like, you know what? Let's shoot each other with plastic BBs because we can't do it with real guns.
Right now, you can do it with real guns.
Now you
Realistically.
Just push that.
Like I said, just think about the look from other countries. Though. Like no one
They're
would
just
ever
like-
hate us because it'd be like.
I mean,
They're crazy.
Anyone made us anyways.
Well, I know, but now everyone would have like
Especially
extensive tactical training with real guns.
Yeah, right.
Everybody. An entire nation of that's
It's
dangerous.
like I watched that new Top Gear episode, Grand Tour episode, when they went to Colorado, and like every American that they talked with like had a gun in their backseat. I'm just like,
Tell me it doesn't make you want a Jag XJR a little bit.
it kind of does.
You kind of understand why I have a love for it.
Yeah, that episode was very funny.
It was.
Yes, it's the.
But tying back to the original discussion, we're so bad at this. Actually, before we tie back,
Oh dang.
let's go.
No, there's nothing. I didn't look. I didn't do it this week. Just move on.
The news.
The news. I didn't do it this week.
Man,
Just
I want
move
to
on.
say that there was something I
Keep
saw.
rolling.
I want to say there was something cool. Oh, yo! I mean, we got to talk about the gas. I wish I had some more video or something. Ryan, who works here,
Speaking of gas blowback rifles.
Speaking of gas blowbacks, he got a gas blowback, the WeTech Thompson. What? I gotta shoot it. It's awesome, dude. It's really sweet. Like that felt amazing. Like I was like, I did that thing. You know I'll be impressed with a gun when I start like just uncontrollably laughing after I fire the thing.
You
Like,
do that in every.
and you watch the reviews. Some of the reviews, like I think it was the Scar one, really got me. I mean the TM High Cycle too, but like the Scar one just like that hit me hard, or the AK. But that's how you know, like, I was dying, dude. That was awesome. So it's super cool. Like, he ordered those a while ago, and they were waiting for a while to come in, but we don't have them here, but he said he'd let us do a review on it. So if he does, that'd be swag. So hopefully you get to see that. But it is so cool. Like, he bought extra mags, like, you get just, on auto, you're just like, da, 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 clack, 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 clack. I was like, ah!
Wasn't the limited edition run as well?
I'm not sure. It might have been, because I mean they did. I know they wanted to, because this is the first like official like release like of it. Like it was a company out in California. I think he got it from ESET or something, and they like it was pretty awesome. So,
Look at this. Simunition is 3 joules. That's
that's not bad at all.
especially if it's wax and it just goes when it hits you instead of
Yeah,
pellet,
you're
it's
still
just
gonna
like-
hurt.
Right, but
But like, it's not gonna. It probably won't pierce skin. Do you think?
it shoots 400 FPS and it weighs 0.5 grams.
Wow, I mean, it's big
Such
boy.
an analog.
It's big boy airsoft without being real steel.
Right.
It's like, some people tied airsoft to being like a middle point between like video games and real steel. Like it's.
Yeah, this would be.
And then this is
even
gonna
more.
be the in between of airsoft and real steel. It's gonna be simunition. And
I remember
honestly,
forever
that
ago when
sounds-
we did the
I'm all
video
about it.
games versus real world versus airsoft.
Yeah,
That was
That
a
was
great stream.
forever ago.
That was fun.
But
Great stream.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Whatever.
But yeah, so that gas blowback Thompson's awesome. Like I can't wait to see more of that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, WE. So okay, obviously WE does not win awards for being the most reliable systems in the world.
They make cool stuff.
But they always
But
come out with
they are some of
something
the most
crazy.
innovative.
Yeah,
in the gas
nobody
blowback
comes out
market.
with anything like every year. You're just like
They don't do just the safe, like Inakatsu, make one of the best gas blowback systems
That's
in the
it.
world, but they make an M4 and a pistol.
yeah.
They make a 1911 and an M4. The most 2 common platforms.
WeTech literally every
Selling to
time.
that market.
But they're very good quality. But
Yeah.
WE does the other side of that. Is they might not be the most reliable, but they have
A wide variety. Anything you could literally want. They'll give you like there was last year I think that they
The P90.
finally the P90 finally happened.
Well,
That's awesome.
What kills me is when I got into airsoft 8, 9, 10 years ago, whatever, I can never remember. They started talking about that way back when, and I was waiting for it. I was going to buy it as my gun to use in here when Extreme opens.
That would have been
To
perfect.
give you reference.
Yeah.
They showed a demo of it working flawlessly, and then it disappeared because CyberGun was like, no, we have the FM license.
Yeah.
We don't want to buy a gas blowback, so too darn bad.
Dude, airsoft.
So last year it finally happened. It's so good. Like that was so cool. At the end of last year, they dropped their gas blowback, the non-CO2
Yeah.
Desert Eagle,
Yeah.
which looked awesome, and it didn't look like it had total crap gas efficiency, which is incredible when you're pushing, that massive of a slide. But it's like WeTech, if you want a gas blowback in some really unique platform, like you're gonna find it. Like if you want a really specific AK,
Then just
like
go
they
to
have.
ratech.com
And buy
and
it.
make it not break all the time by replacing all the parts of the RATech stuff.
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
What else is WeTech like? What else is WeTech do, man? It's pretty.
Well, they have one of my favorites. I love the humor from WE as well. Like if you actually
Like
go
the
to,
penis speed loader.
yes,
That's the best thing ever.
or if you go to WE's YouTube channel and you just like watch some of their videos, the dude actually has some humor. Like it's like subtle humor. It's my kind of humor. My favorite thing is
It's sophisticated humor.
well, their Dragunov is called an ACE, as an ACEVD. So it's an ACVD.
Yeah.
You say with a Russian accent.
ACVD.
ACVD. Come on.
No, this is my
My ACVD. I love
I got
the
some
humor.
Russian neighbors. I want to be like, hey, can you just say SVD for me, really quick, while I record you?
Like that's the cool thing about WeCheck. So good for you, WeCheck, and good for you, Ryan, for getting one of those.
Exactly.
We should
Like,
have
who
like,
makes
have,
up-
like a good company of the week. I mean, we'd run out of that real quick, but like,
Yeah, there's already a lot.
Kevin Pegg, someone would be like.
all right, yo, everyone else sucks.
Like how many like PX4 or Storms do you see out there? No. Ryan has
yeah.
one. It actually shoots really.
You know,
nice.
I've seen none because the very few that they sold don't
Yes,
broke.
that's true. A lot of everything just seems so great.
Shade.
Hey, like I said, I'll never pretend that WE is reliable, but also never pretend it's boring.
Yeah,
I've owned a couple.
I can't think of anything else I haven't. I want to know more about the Jet had his event recently, but they had a whole app, this tracker app or whatever, where you can literally follow stuff. I'm curious. I don't know anything about it.
So I've discussed this with James that I really, if I could trust airsofters, I'd want to make and sell this. Is you can get little GPS modules for like $25 and little XPs for like $30-40, and a little battery pack, and just make a little module.
I think we talked about
That,
it.
yeah. You just
Okay,
stick
yeah.
in, that everyone just keeps on their gear, and it just transmits their coordinates to a central thing, and you can see every player on the field. Not only would it have a huge safety impact in terms of like, you know, if that person hasn't moved in an hour, like there might be something wrong.
Right.
Just imagine being able to like go onto an app later, go onto a website later, and see
track it?
and see everybody on each side's movements, and actually see two squads from each team
Moving out.
merge
Okay,
and
that's
one
pretty
go
cool.
back
like in
onto
real time
reset.
almost.
Yeah, like
That
be
would
able to
be
play
cool.
back engagements. You see like a fire team break off and flank another team. You'd see entire battle movements. Imagine how many. It would be like $100 per person. The issue is, how do you make sure they give it back to you at the end of the game?
So
You
that's
should be
not
able
even
to-
my main concern. People abusing that outside of airsoft.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. You have a tracker, you have a device that you can. I mean, I guess that technology already exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this would be like it'd be a little less. You could probably mass manufacture them for like $50 a person, and just imagine that as like or I guess what you could do really. If you're running these big events that are $250, make it a $300 event. When you turn it in at the end of the event, you get $50 back.
Oh, okay. That's
So I guess
that's
security
wrong.
cause.
Yeah.
Okay, so the cool
And
thing. So what I was
Just imagine these like 600-person games and seeing
watching those big things. That'd be
these
awesome.
clashes of firefights and like as objectives move and
That
as,
would be very
as
cool.
a game runner.
Jonathan Santana says he likes it. Woo! I mean, honestly, like if you sit down and think about it, it is cool as hell.
It'd be amazing, and you just have, like I said, just a big laptop. Nice thing is XPs work in a mesh network, so even places like UBG, where someone who's real far away might not have a signal to get to the base station and spawn, or
It'll
its
still
parking
track
lot,
its movements and then resync with it.
it'll send it through all of the XPs along the way. That's what mesh network means. Is you
Okay,
basically
okay.
say, like, it's basically like in the internet. You say, I'm trying to send it over there, and it will find a path through all the XPs to get it there.
Interesting.
So I want to make it so bad. But like,
That would be
if
cool.
in all seriousness, if we ever host, we'd have to like know a year in advance to manufacture enough. But if we ever host a big like AO event,
That's
imagine on doing something like that, being the first people to do it.
That would be cool. So I guess we have to do that before anyone that's watching this.
You know what? If someone else wants to manufacture it, I'd gladly buy them off of them because like I don't have all the time in the world, and it's kind of like my ketchup bottle idea. I just want it to exist.
There's an app called Overwatch that does that.
So the issue is then players need to have their phones on them all the time, and I don't know about you. I don't really like bringing my phone on the field for multiple reasons. I know you do, but I'm not a fan.
I like to keep it like in my backpack. I don't like to keep it in my pocket. That terrifies me.
I personally leave mine at CP.
Also, right, and the other issue is like everyone would have to have phones where the battery lasts 2 days.
Exactly. You can send GPS signals and all that stuff.
And to be sending data the whole time. People don't want to use the data, so that's my point. If you're putting it in the hands of, like my phone, it's 3 years old. It's not very reliable anymore. If I push it too hard, it resets. Like it restarts, and a lot of people have this with older Android devices, I'm not going to lie, or iPhones, they just slow down where they won't work anymore.
I haven't reached that point yet.
I'm trying to figure this out.
So my point is I don't want to put that necessarily in the hands of the people that, of everybody's phone, and then you're not going to get full data.
Yeah.
Because people, you might have like, why does it look like this one person took out 3 squads? And you find out, it's because the other 12 people, because the other 12 people in the squad didn't have their phones on.
This guy calls it.
That's interesting.
But it'd be very interesting, especially for rules tracking. Who owned that base at 12:43?
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to take the picture with your phone and send it to an email.
I was just like,
I get it, but
I know it's like
that does bring me to the other reason that I don't like cell phones in Airsoft is because
part of it takes you.
What I was concerned about. Hey Tom. What I was concerned about prior to Autumn Justice, I did see happen a little bit, where people would take their phone out because they needed their phone prevalently on them. They'd be bored a second, and next thing you know, they're on Tinder or Facebook.
That's what Patrick does.
Actually,
that's why I said Tinder, because
we actually had to yell. I think it was it KJ? I want to say it was KJ or it was Wyatt. Sorry, Wyatt, if it was you. We actually at one of the events they caught him on his phone, and he had to be like, boy. Like as they were holding down a position, he was lying on the ground.
Right. So
wait, game staff yelled at him, or
no, our team.
But it takes you out of the element, and that's what I like about Wilson is that kind of immersive experience. I don't want to think about the outside world.
Pretty much, yeah.
When I'm playing.
Like every so often, I'll check my phone to see if there's something coming through, but for the most part,
I know you're thinking of something and don't bring it up.
Yeah.
No, so I was
how much better did I feel?
Soured your entire morning.
But no, as soon as we started playing though, because I didn't have to think about anything else, I was much happier.
But I was just looking at the video for testing, and the problem is, you have to have your phone on you all the time. But you can update your status whether or not you're dead, whatever, proximity to an area of capturing that area. But it's your phone on you again, and that's using data and everything.
And that's what I was saying is what I'd love to do is have a $50 module like that, and then maybe for each squad leader have a slightly more expensive module where they can report back data like that.
That'd be so cool.
But either way,
very cool.
Maybe when we're talking about where Airsoft's going and how could it become a sport, I think those are the kind of things we have to see. Because how do you ref a 400-acre game?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So exactly. And then you could be like, okay, well, I challenged this person left the play field. Do that, and they can review.
Do you remember when people left the play field when we were like, they're definitely not in the
Yeah, what was it, like Autumn Justice, Spring Offensive?
Yeah, we're like, they're definitely not in the game anymore. That's going to become a problem in 10 minutes. And
then
10 minutes later, we get shot in the back as we're standing on the field line, and we're like, bro, you're not in the field anymore. And they're like, what do you mean? I don't see any flags. We're like,
we watched you 10 minutes ago.
The flags are on these sides of the trees. You see
them. You dingus. So you see them as you're walking along.
One of them came up and looked at the flag and was like, oh.
No, I was like, yeah, but good move though. We would have seen you coming, but whatever. We literally let you shoot us because we didn't even want to think about you because we knew you were out of the plane.
It's pretty dumb.
That's the most insulting,
You're my functional nemesis. I don't even think about you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I can absolutely see the game staff, end of things with something like that, making it into a sport. Wow, I'm really surprised you're able to tie that whole tangent into that. I'm impressed.
I want it to happen. It's just I can't make the investment myself because
it's expensive.
I'd love to outfit Dirk with them for a game just to see how it goes, but you're talking a $500 to $600 investment.
Yeah.
In a team that doesn't even play that.
So when they're adults and they're trying to make moves, buy houses, start families.
Dude, it's hard.
It's
trying to be an adult, going to school and being in it.
It's hard to grow up and stick consistently with Airsoft as a team.
It's
I've
hard.
seen that a lot. I've seen many teams fizzle out because You know, too many,
Like-
too many,
Yeah,
guys
you have
are just doing so many
responsibilities.
adult things
Great
like,
life.
at the same time, and it just kind of sometimes it comes
Hunger
together.
Games.
and you're able
Cameras
to-
everywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna admit one of my favorite things at Airsoft GI. I liked OG Airsoft GI. They did so many cool things. When they did their Hunger Games series, like anytime they played a game, that was so just like the situations were just hilarious. Like you'd get a gun or you'd get a speed loader, but like there wouldn't be any like it was just crazy. You never know what you were getting. Like, does my gun work? Does it have a battery? Oh my god, I just have a gun. There's no battery, and I'm being chased by a dude with a whatever. Like,
Imagine that, you
I
have,
love that.
you have like 4 rounds and you're like, I don't want to waste a
You
round.
don't know how
Does
much.
the gun
You
work?
didn't know how many rounds you had. It was amazing. Like some of the situations they got in were so funny. Hunger Games would be cool. They all started in the middle. They all just ran. They chased each other down. Oh my god, that was so
And we
fun.
just ran.
And then they just. But yeah,
I
so
apologize for the coughing. People watching.
I do
this
miss
today.
that.
Like I said, I am dying a little bit.
I miss OG Airsoft GI. Miss Tim and Bob. Those guys are the
Whoever's running their Facebook page
Tim-
is
yeah,
doing
Tim
a
moved to
bang-up
Crytek.
job, though.
Really?
They
Yeah.
have their Instagram account is just posting a bunch of like random things that are like it's just memes.
It's funny, though.
Everything is memes now. It's
This life
like
just needs to die. I don't mind other airsoft retailers, but you
Yeah,
know,
do you guys, I mean, I see, you know, like,
That's like-
I
I
respect
like
that.
the way that
cool.
they post, they're definitely, you know, like,
And they understand the element of trying to kill every brick and mortar store will kill them as well.
yeah.
Like they understand that out that side of,
Yeah.
of the industry.
they're not like,
Like, just
hey you
like-
guys, guess what? We're gonna start selling in your store.
I was trying to be like, they just, like, look at you and they're like, and they just, like, suck the business out of you.
Like
James, just look at my screen. Right?
like Airsoft GI just always posts.
That's what we did that last time we did this.
Their posts are pretty much like any like just a
It's
random
fun
gun
stuff.
photo is all memes.
We need to get on Twitter. We need to get stream on Twitter and have somebody like
Twitter's
Wendy's.
stupid.
Yeah, but think about how often you see the Wendy's Twitter handle blasted around.
Yeah, well, that's because they're.
Yo, I can run Twitter. I'll run Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm all about
And
Twitter.
the funny thing is that I could absolutely see Dan running the Twitter because, you know.
All I do
Dan,
is all I do on store all day on Twitter.
Dan, when you were in the pro shop and today you were said like you're like yeah you remove the barrel stocks once you're on the field. You
On the field, I was yelling at this kid like he was going in across staging. He already had his barrel sock off, and he was like waiting to put his magazine in. I was like, wow, I don't know what's more dangerous, both of them, you idiot. I was like, as you're going on the field, make sure you do it on the field.
People, like,
It was horrible.
Staging.
That was so
I
bad.
absolutely see him.
That
running
made me
Twitter.
so mad. It was a keto drop
I
that got
retract
earlier
all
too.
of my comments about having a Twitter account.
We would just be
I wouldn't be like that bad, but I want to be on that Wendy's level though. You got to be on that Wendy's level of just like I'm at Burger King. What should I get? And it's like ouch, like stuff like that. Like I'm at youth, like where should I get out?
What do I do? Leave?
My favorite part is somebody, or the most recent from Wendy's that I saw was great. Someone said something about Wendy's, complaining about Wendy's, and they were like, "You're in 15 movies. We still had to look you up on Google."
Oh yeah, right.
That's that funny.
Something. Oh, I saw one, and they were just like, yeah, and all of those 0 followers that you had were probably offended too. I was like, yeet.
What is it? Is it KFC?
KFC, yeah, they have like 6 herbs and
Yeah,
spices,
and
so
then
they follow 6 people. And
Yeah,
then
whoever runs a KFC Twitter account needs a promotion. I don't care if it's the CEO, he needs a promotion because their whole thing is like made from 11 herbs and spices. So they follow the 5 Spice Girls and 6 people named Herb.
Yep.
Oh my god, no, stop it. Really?
I went and confirmed. It's a thing.
Yeah, if you go to KFC's Twitter.
I think is it KFC?
I'm almost certain it is. Either that or it's like one of those fast food chains. That's funny though. You gotta
KFC.
appreciate,
Yeah, KFC.
You gotta appreciate companies with a sense of humor like that.
I love Airsoft GI. Like they posted like 2 SWAT guys getting ready. It's like I swear to God, Carl, if this is another video game SWAT call on a Twitch streamer, it's like yeah,
Yo, how messed up? Did you hear about that the other day though?
No.
yeah, that happened. It
Yeah,
was-
out
I
in
mean,
California, someone got mad at somebody in a video game, like 2 Twitch streamers, and he swatted, and the person was like, "I'm gonna
That's what
swat
they call
you."
it.
Yeah, well,
that's the thing.
yeah, this
Swatting.
dude was like, "I'm gonna swat you," and he's like, "Go ahead, my address is such and such," and he did, but his address wasn't actually that. And they swatted some random dude who came to the door and got shot and killed by the officers.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Swatting's an
That is
actual thing.
not
Like that's
cool.
happened more than once.
Whoa,
Like
that is not cool.
it's horrible. That's bad.
Right? Yeah, YouTube drama.
Damn, that's
dude.
crazy.
Speaking of false calls, I know we're going a little random here. We kind of ran out of stuff to talk about the hobbyverse thing.
Yeah,
So-
we
But
said
they're
our
strong viewers.
Unless you guys have your opinions.
Speaking of false calls, the Hawaii incident?
Oh my god, the Hawaii thing.
Dude, that had to be scary as hell.
You know what? I was actually reading. There was a Reddit post about it, and the topic was like for people who did unregrettable or like regrettable
Okay,
things. What was
actually,
your thing?
before we go into it, let's explain what it was.
Okay, yeah.
So a few days ago, I think it was yesterday, or is it 2 days ago?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Ago.
Is someone really messed up and pressed the wrong button and sent an alert to every cell phone in Hawaii that says ICBM threat inbound, take shelter, not a drill. And
And they
we had a lot of
correctly
people that thought they had 37 minutes to live because that's
Yeah.
how long it takes for a nuclear missile to get from North Korea to Hawaii. Now, in reality, to be fair, they incorrected the mistake for 40 minutes. So you had a lot of people who were like,
Yeah, they took forever to correct that. Exactly.
Right.
So people
So
were freaking
you
out.
had, but to be fair, here's the thing: is North Korea's missile technology is far behind all of our anti-missile tech, which is meant to take out Russian and Chinese ICBMs. There's like a 99% chance we'd shoot any North Korean missile out of the sky.
Yeah.
To be fair, just to throw that out there, but nonetheless. So that was the big mess up. in
Tyler Moran
Hawaii.
says hi, Chuckles.
Hi, Tyler.
But you were saying there was a Reddit?
Yeah, so I was reading this Reddit post, and it was like people who did regrettable things. You know, like, what did you do? But it really just turned to most people saying like talking about what they did, and you know, like people were like, I literally cried in my bathroom for an hour. You know, it's some real stuff. But there's actually this one great story where it is this guy, he was working in his office. He got a text, and he was very calm about it. You know, he wrote like, I figured either A, I'm going to die in a very quick fireball,
Or
B,
nothing's gonna happen.
Or B, nothing's going to happen. We'll shoot it
Also, the
down.
funny thing is they said most people would survive a nuclear strike in Hawaii due to just North Korea's the mountainous geography of Hawaii, as well as North Korea's limited explosive capability. The fallout would be the concern. But either way.
Yeah. Anyways, so this guy, he's saying like, oh, I finished my spreadsheet. I just went on working, except for my manager, who decided that he was going to run up to the CEO's office, drop his pants, and do a very I can't explain it, but touch himself inappropriately in front of the CEO while the CEO was on the phone with his wife. While his wife was admitting to him about some disturbing things that family members did to her, like he was like, they thought they were gonna die, so she's, being all upfront with him, and then one of his managers, whom he trusts, comes upstairs and starts touching himself inappropriately in his office. And it's like, the guy, he posted the termination letter, and it was scathing. It was like, it was scathing, and that was like the most insane thing I've ever read. Like, can you imagine, like,
I can't.
like, what would you do if you
Right?
were under the
Got that
impression?
message.
Yeah, you were under the impression. Would you?
And you're on an island.
You're on an island. You've at that point you have to accept that you died. And one person had a very interesting story. They're like, I was with my wife. We just kind of accepted that we were going to die, and we looked at pictures of a vacation we most recently took. A very sweet thing. And then he went on to add, probably the most bizarre thing is waking up today or yesterday, and just dealing with the fact that I'm still alive. Knowing full well the day before he accepted death, 100%. He accepted the fact that his life was over, and then waking up the next morning alive. That's kind of crazy. Like that's some serious psychological.
Also, there was a question on if we know Stronghold Ops, and Abington, of course.
Yeah, of course. Actually, a member of Stronghold Ops, the ref manager, messaged me and the store about an Airsoft team that was causing issues.
There's more cross communication between. You think we're all enemies of each other. There's a lot of cross communication between fields and stores about players and events and things like that.
Yeah. Didn't All-Star came out, I think, for the last, they sent some dudes
All-Star
out for
is
the
awesome.
last event night.
Yeah.
I mean, adult night.
All-Star comes out all the time. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is there's a lot more cross communication than you expect. We try to not schedule events on top of each other. We all realize trying to hurt the other businesses around us doesn't help anyone. It just means less people playing Airsoft. And on that note,
for the expo.
I was going to say, on that note, I really, really, really hope Stronghold takes it down for the expo.
Yeah.
Because the more fields, the better. The more stores, the better. And it's not us. I feel like a lot of stores get the impression that we want to be like, oh, come look at how cool we are.
No,
that's not the
like,
case at all. This is genuinely not the case at all. And I know a lot of people think when we say community gaming, we mean business, but no, we generally want to see the community grow. For honestly, yes, more community means more business. Not gonna lie, but it's just we're all also airsofters.
Yeah. And then but the thing you also run into is there are some people that, I mean, don't even know. Like, there are people that don't know that extreme. They're like, wow, I've lived here for 8 years and I didn't even know you guys were here. Like, that stuff happens. So, like, to people maybe that are coming from Massachusetts that don't realize that you're closer to them than we are, they'd be like, oh, I have a place near me that I can go play Airsoft. That makes it more accessible, and it's better for everybody. And it's so much easier to have it all in one place. So you'd be like, oh yes, look at all this Airsoft. All of this Airsoft.
Right.
But it's so much easier. I don't know.
And honestly, playing the same field every single day or every single week, it gets a bit old. We try and vary it up here as much as we can, but we obviously don't have the manpower or time to change the field every weekend.
Yeah. We're limited, so you gotta go different places.
Add variety to how you play. You'll have so much more fun.
So the Airsoft Expo that is going to be hosted here once again, like we were saying, April 8th. I guess we're kind of now just doing upcoming events, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, we might as well wrap up at this point. We're just about running out of time. So, so Airsoft Expo, do you want to spend some time explaining what the expo is? I know we just did a little bit.
So I met with Fry this past 2 weekends ago or so, and we kind of devised up a game plan for how we're going to organize this. So Fry, the Airsoft ambassador, local superstar, friend of all
He
ours.
really loves if you call him an Airsoft personality and say he's famous.
Oh, yeah,
he actually really loves if you say that.
I was like, we're talking about.
He just joined.
Well, when he saw that for when I did the spreadsheet last year, I put him down under personalities or celebrities. He was like, take me off that. Take me off that.
Right, we're just saying how much you love when people say you're an Airsoft celebrity personality, right?
Any changes from last year's plan, Scott? For the expo?
More space.
Yes, well, I mean, we actually do have a much more modular open space, similar to the first expo we did.
Not quite as big as the first expo, though, it's still pretty
small. Yeah, it's going to be a very nice open space. We're not going to be shoved into a room, half in the room, half not in the room. It's going to be a nice open space, very connected to the store. It's going to be one of the better layouts. We're very excited. We got the space that we wanted to use. We got a good date to that. Like I said, like we've been saying, it's going to be April 8th.
Clutch.
It's just going to be a really good time. So if you're on a team looking to recruit, if you're not on a team, but you want to join one and you don't really know what you're looking for, this is an excellent opportunity to go and see what's out there.
And it doesn't cost anything to come to, right?
Show up.
To show up as you as an individual, to show up to the Airsoft Expo, it is completely open. I mean, if you want to play for the day, of course, there is the normal Airsoft fee. But that's just, what it's always going to be.
In the past, we've allowed teams that set up a booth, because obviously they're going to spend a lot of time at the booth, to have a reduced admission rate. Do you think we'll do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like instead, maybe like $10 to play instead of 25 or 15.
I think it was 15 or 20 instead of 25.
Yeah, exactly. And so if you want to set up a booth, it's going to be $10. And like that's just to exhibit. If you want to vend, like sell team patches, I know a few teams that like small raffles
stuff. So that's one thing we have to change this year is you can't raffle off Airsoft guns. There's a legality concern there.
There is.
Because people are raffling off to people under 18, which becomes
on our property.
And a gambling,
it's pretty bad.
And not donating the proceeds, making profit from it.
Right. So it will probably, which raffle's probably okay, but like I said, no Airsoft guns this year.
Yeah.
Shirts and stuff.
Shirts, patches,
whatever.
Gear, any of that good stuff. But
if you have any old stuff sitting around,
you'll get a 10x10 space. Power will be included to everyone that shows up. We have all the power solutions that you need. So if you have like, I know Gordon set up a projector last year. He's going to be doing that again and showing videos and sneak peeks to his upcoming events.
Let people not call it yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he plays the video. He's playing the video. Like again, like a 2-hour-long slideshow. And the minute that I was talking to him, he's like, "Oh yeah, here's the part when your teammates doesn't call a hit." And sure enough, a tracer bounces off the dump pad to one of my guys, and he just kind of like shuffles off to the side. I'm like, to be fair, there's one guy who only plays like once every 3 years, but even still, it was very embarrassing. Yeah.
That's amazing. love
But yeah,
it.
so
I love
totally
it.
come out. It's gonna be awesome. We just need to figure out how many spaces we have.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's gonna be a lot.
It'll be close to last year. Last year we had like 3 extra open spaces, and we have much more space than last year. This year,
Yeah.
so
So
it'll be
more
very
people can
good.
show up. And if you want to pre-register for that, I think at this point
You have to call the store.
Right.
That won't be like a. Well, we could
Yeah.
set up a PayPal button.
we'll probably set up a PayPal button on our website, so you can
That's
just
not a bad
register.
idea at all.
Yeah.
Be a lot smoother.
Yes. Scott, get wrecked. Yeah, I love you.
And then of course we have our adult night coming up. Speaking of that kind of.
Pistol shotgun night and gas blowback rifle night, as well as adult night. If you're at this point in the stream, you've already heard us our spiel on the pistol shotgun night for that and gas blowback night. We should really just call it gas blowback night plus spring shotguns.
Also, the cool thing is if you have an MP7, you can actually now use it like an MP7. You don't have to use it like a pistol.
Well, we were playing ATF rules before.
Yeah, I know, and my point
Yeah,
is not
but
doing
now-
that anymore. That's literally what I'm pointing out has changed.
So now you can use it with a stop.
Or if you're a badass with an M93R with that stock,
With
that's
the-
straight
yeah.
stock.
That would be
MW2
cool. Show that.
MW2 style.
Yeah, those are rare too.
Yeah, exactly.
Those things,
Oh,
MW2, you run the holographic sight and the suppressor, hardcore mode, unstoppable.
Oh, I'm gonna have to buy a UMP, gas blowout UMP.
Yes, you will. Now that you have a better job.
Now that you
Yeah,
use
dog.
it.
Yeah.
Ryan, you missed it. I don't know if you missed it, but we talked about the Thompson and how awesome
Yeah.
it was.
Also on that note, if you come to Extreme a lot, next weekend will be my last. So, well,
For real?
like my 4th time or whatever, but
Yeah, I'd say for real.
and then we'll see what happens during the summer and stuff, but probably for real this
This
time.
gets fired.
Yeah, okay.
On the Extreme Airsoft sitcom, Des gets fired.
Yeah. We could have a sitcom.
I mean,
The amount of roasts and dad jokes that
How
go on
great
all
this
day
is.
long.
It's so funny. It's just all day, and then just dealing with some of the customers. Like, it'd be great.
Well, Ryan, I'm not going to explain it again because we're just about at the end. So you can go to the front of the video. If you're on YouTube, you can go all the way back. If
He
not,
literally just said he'll watch it again.
yeah, exactly.
And then again, adult night if you want to.
Yes,
explain what
adult night is big boy rules. So you guys can go prone. There's no safety kills.
Explosives.
I'm glad that going prone is the prime appeal. It's not the 400 FPS, no safety kills in the pyro. Prime appeal, prone.
Well, yeah, but just something you can't do. I'm just not.
I know, it's just funny that that's what you highlight.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
one.
I mean,
Like
every
when I do it,
week-
I open up with 400 FPS, no safety kills,
Every
pyro.
week.
Those are the 3 things that
Even
everybody
open
wants
with that,
indoors.
some people may be like, they may be holding out for that one extra rule they hadn't heard yet. And they're like,
yeah.
oh shoot, I can go prone. All right, we're going,
No,
boys. Let's hit the
The best part
road.
is we do mention prone every week, but you're saying changing the order. They hear the first. It's like no, he just thinks people are like him, where people hear the first 2 words of a sentence and are like, oh, this is unrelated, and they just tune out for the rest of it.
Well, I have ADHD. Many people have ADHD too. That is a valid argument.
What
Thank
is that
you
worse
for
than
helping my
ADHD
argument.
one?
What? Oh
Do you
wow,
have-
that was me.
Is that is that genetic or is that the one where you have to?
Wow, that just messed my brain up right there.
That's the not genetic one, right? The one that's not hereditary.
Sleep now. Oh, I need to go drink myself to sleep.
Oh god, I love it.
Wow, ADHD in one.
It's pretty great. Very much enjoying it.
Dad jokes, all the
I
dad
love
jokes.
it. That was good. That was good.
What, are we getting into those MOSFETs anytime soon?
Yeah, gang, gang. We should see about getting those because those would be cool.
Right. All right, guys. But I
Or what would be
Scott goes,
cooler?
what brain?
What would even be
Oh
cooler?
wait! I have a perfect thing to
What's
share.
cooler is
Is this-
Did you see when Brain Exploder? Brain Exploder did the he attached a shotgun at the bottom of his FAMAS, so he called it the FAMaster key. Swag. Which was weird. The APS Cam 870 mounted at the bottom. He was like, it was really impractical and way too heavy. It was awesome.
But what was I gonna say? Is do you want to talk about D-Day real quick? And also to our viewers, this is how I feel about James frequently.
Yeah, he sent me this video while I'm at work.
So D-Day, February 11th. It's gonna be awesome.
The camera's in the way though.
We're gonna have.
They have a brain. There's no missing brains.
Oh. Email thoughts. So Des said, so those of you guys
for your sensitive shorties out there.
Des Brown's female Facebook
so
pages.
pretty much it's going to be two sides. You got the Allies, you have the Axis powers, the Allies of the U.S. and the British, and the German side is the Germans. The Axis are the Germans of the Germans. You can sign up for whatever kind of division you want. It'll be our 4 teams.
You watch more Airsoft than you play.
Who says that?
Oh. He sells more Airsoft than he plays.
I sell more Airsoft than I play.
That's your job.
I haven't even seen Scott play a game.
Wow.
Jeez, throw in the shade.
There's more to Airsoft than just the same event.
We're gonna need some lighting with all the shade being
There's
around.
more there. There's more. But it's going to be a Milsim style event. A lot of the missions, maybe multi-stage or multi-steps. There's going to be processes. It's going to be cool. Definitely going to be, like we said, like I just said, it's going to be heavily focused on mission of completing objectives. Really based on a lot of the, a lot of it's based on events that actually happened. Like it'd be cool if we could do something with like how they set the 200. They set the Rangers to climb up the mountain. They got to the emplacements, but there wasn't anything there. Like a lot of stuff. So hopefully, and then we're talking about doing an airborne mission. Where one of the first missions is they'll be behind enemy lines and they have to blow stuff up.
Infiltrate. And you know, there's so much fun history with D-Day. That's just incredible. Like,
the best thing, like you learn so much about like
the events as
you have to write them. Like I learned that all of the airborne that dropped in by the time the next day, where they were all supposed to have their stuff together, only a third of all the airborne that dropped were like in their divisions.
Yep.
Like they were. And then they were like,
they
roll up other things, and then like all of the divisions had already rolled up and completed the objectives that they like wanted.
Yeah, there's awesome. So many things that went wrong.
Yeah,
and it still turned out successful.
Yeah,
that's just how much. When you look at the numbers of people and ships and vehicles that they sent, and this is incredible. And there's so many fun details. Like for about like a week prior, Allied bombers flew over the beach and dropped bombs, and all the Germans thought that they missed because they just landed on the beach and they didn't hit any of the pillboxes. But the bombers knew that they couldn't cause any damage to the pillboxes with the bombs.
So they created foxholes?
So they were creating craters for soldiers to jump into as they ran up the beach.
Huh.
Yeah. It, like there's so much stuff like they couldn't tell. They didn't know that the airborne was coming in because they were also the bombing. Like they took out the radar stations, so they didn't know that the airborne were coming in. They were just the soldiers. The German soldiers didn't react to it. The commanders were like, "No, those aren't actual. That's not actually something. That's not possible." But it is, and I'm just like all of these things. It's so awesome. Oh, so sweet!
Oh, yeah, like I said, there is just incredible history. But there was a question I saw on
about Jag Scatterarms. As far as I'm concerned, we will never sell another Jag Scatterarm. They are pieces of trash. That's that.
Those 2 special orders came in, and we had issues with those as well.
Yep, yeah.
So we gave them enough time to try and R&D solutions.
We gave everybody, whenever we sell those, we give them a heads up. So
Scott, I'm not going to the Saturday one. I'm going to the one in March. Hopefully, I should be approved off of those because I asked for it.
So, want to see something cool?
I'm a hater.
This is what Normandy still looks like today. So they dropped a few bombs to make a few craters.
Just a few.
It's pretty incredible, actually. Like, these are still left over after so many years.
Pretty awesome.
But I think it's time we wrap up. So, with that, guys, thanks for tuning in. And next week, we're going to be talking about different rule sets, things like that, and across.
The week after.
And the week after is going to be our 1-year anniversary of doing streams, and we're going to party as
get trashed. I'm going to get trashed.
I wouldn't say
I'm going to get
like
plastered. Ask me all the questions you want, and it'll be great. I'll answer them in a very obnoxious and James manner.
So, what else?
He's fun.
So it's going to be like a normal stream.
Yes, but worse. It's going to be James on steroids.
Alright, guys.
Get ready for it.
So get excited for that.
Prepare yourself
Get excited
for that
in a couple weeks. Once again, thank you very much for joining,
guys.
We will see you next week and hopefully this weekend. Also, Thursday video? Okay.
We're
probably gonna need a six-pack.
We're gonna film it tomorrow.
That's painful.
We'll have it filmed.
Better than
There will be one.
Flyers 2 beers on 4th of July. If you're still watching, Jake. Bye.